Hello everyone, this is Dion Sol. I hope everyone is doing well. And today, as you see before you, we are in the Baron 58 again. And the reason why I'm in the Baron 58 is because we've got a little modification news to report. And what I've done is, as you can see before you, this is the stock Baron 58 with some modifications, twists, if you want to call it that. Um, right off the bat, the first one that got me interested in doing a modification for the Baron 58, as I said in my previous video, was the G1000 by MiniWibs and his team. And this one is no different. I have multiple installs of the Baron 58, and the reason why is because of different things, different situations call for different airplane environments. And I made that up pretty good, huh? So the G1000 is installed with this install of the Baron 58 along with the modification. As you can tell, obviously those are the pretty versions of the interiors and the exteriors by Big Ron the Man, which is awesome. Now this time around, the one that you see here that we're going to be talking about on this video does not, and I repeat, does not have this flight model. And the reason why is because what I have done is, as you saw briefly there, is that I went ahead and obtained the uh, Baron 58 Reality Expansion Pack by SimCoders. I wanted to bring up a little bit more immersion factor for the B58 because I like flying low and slow. And so that's why I chose to get this, and it's a very nice um, very nice add-on for the stock Baron 58. And the short answer is, if you want to fly low and slow and you want to take advantage of your orthos that you've spent computer time in developing for your flight simulation experience, I highly recommend you getting this. Also, there's a flip side if you just want more complexity of the aircraft where your actions and behavior of how you use the airplane affects its performance, as I'm sitting here losing my breath, um, affects the performance of the airplane, then I recommend you getting this product. It's for me so far. I've only had it for a few days, and I've been having lots of time with it. And yes, I did pay for it. They did not give this to me. Unfortunately, I don't have my YouTube channel is not big at all, so I don't have access to get free things or donations to be able to afford to get that. But hey, that's just the way it is. That's just goes with the territory. It's most unfortunate, but that does segue me into, if you do want to donate and you like the information I do on my channel and you enjoy the flights, you can always donate to the channel or subscribe, and all that happy stuff with the links on the top of the my YouTube channel, where I have two methods of tip jars up there for your to partake in. But anyway, back to this is what we got is you got various things that this modification controls, and that this add-on controls, and we'll jump back in over here, and you can see that we now have a little window here. You've got the knee board that you go through the checklists of the airplane and that sort of thing, and before start and all that other happy stuff, which is really cool. Sound effects and all. Emergency procedures. If this happens, you do this, this, and this. That happens, you do that, that, that. That kind of thing. And then you got your reference here on the backside, and that sort of thing. And then, of course, you got your flows and everything else, which is right there, which is really cool. Got your right, and then you got your left. I don't know what that means. I'll have to read up on that. But you got all your information right here of what to expect, which is really, really cool. So anyway, I actually need to read that more and find out. Now, one thing I wish that SimCoders would do would take this thing and make this, because we are living in an age today where we have 4K monitors and 1440p monitors and things like that. I wish there was an ability to be able to take this, grab this with your left mouse button, and actually expand this. Yes, you can click on this and actually take it out of the sim, but even when you take it out of the sim, at least on my system anyway, I have not been able to actually make these characters bigger or and actually make the make this thing bigger so I can actually see these characters better. You have to put on glasses if you have weak eyes and that sort of thing. But that's pretty much the size of that one right there. The other one is this actual, um, again, not being able to expand this. It's kind of, which is most unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Uh, you can actually add uh, kilograms or pounds. You can switch it between what units you want to use, and you can put in your loadout, your payload loadout, baggage, whatnot, and then your fuel loadout, and then you just hit apply, and then it changes the values inside here of what your takeoff weight's going to be, and this and that and the other, and yada yada yada. This is a progressive thing, and what I mean by that is that when you fly a flight, whatever it saves the state that you were last at. So if you're going to take another flight and you need to add more fuel, you have to add more fuel. That sort of thing, and which is kind of cool. I like that. And that's part of the benefits of doing this. You have your walk around procedure, you've got your tow procedure, and you've got your maintenance, and the maintenance is the big screen here. This is what your progression has been so far at this point. So you have progression with this aircraft. You're paying Reality Expansion Pack for a progression system for this airplane. That's basically what Reality Expansion Pack is in a nutshell, and I like that. I like that a lot. I wish people have the same mindset as I do in progression of your airplanes and buy the hell out of these things. So in turn, we would get more airplanes that would have this kind of progression into it, which is awesome. So anyway, I got to take a swig of coffee for the working man here. So anyway, so we've got all these different setups right now. We are approaching winter time, even though I'm in Southern California, so I went ahead and switched to a multi-grade oil. If you are in a hot climate during the summertime, then you want to use SAE 50. And if you are in the wintertime and you have extreme low temperatures, then you probably want to switch to a multi-grade. Or if you're in Southern California like I am, I could go either way. I can either go 10W30 or go 10 or just straight 30. Either way, it doesn't matter. Um, with wintertime the way it is right now, I just go with the 10W30. So anyway, so that takes care of that. Nothing really special to report here. Everything is self-explanatory. You can switch between the type of wiring you want. You can have the default wiring that you would go to your local neighborhood Rally Auto Parts. No, I'm kidding, but default inexpensive plug wires, or you can go the fine or higher quality plug wires. I'm assuming what that means, and you can switch to those to be more effective and less fouling of the plugs. Then you have the right the right engine, which is the same information. You just have left and right engine because this is a 2-engine configuration. Everything is set and ready to go here. You can see I've already got 17 minutes on the engines themselves, and I got 33 minutes of flight time on the airframe since I've restarted it. Now we can flip over here. If I had to add heaters, this has the ability, and it pops out, which I'm not going to do. Let me see if I can get away with it real quick. In this, okay, you can't. You can't see it. So there is the heater. The heater comes out right here and goes right down into the airplane. It's kind of hard to see, but it is there, and you can heat up your cylinder heads and the engine for starting if you're in an extreme cold environment, which is really cool. And you can do a fast one where it heats it up even faster by just hitting the engage button right here, which I just noticed I'm kind of hiding the thing here. There we go. And so that's, you can speed up the process, or you can just let it do it in real time. I'm going to go ahead and stop because we don't need it. And there it goes away. Why it has a tick, 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 I don't know, but whatever. And then you can put in a cold weather adaptation. So if I don't know if it's going to show or not because I got the covers on right now. If I mount it, Okay, it's going to be behind it, so you can't see it. But when you turn this on, there's actually little black uh, covers that go like right along in here, right along in here on each engine. And basically what it does, yes, it does restrict the airflow, but what it does is for winterizing your airplane and you're flying in cold weather, it makes it so the temperature of the engine retains the heat. But I'm in Southern California, that's my primary flying, so I don't need those sort of things. But it is available on both winterizing kits for both engines. And you can see that the temperature, or the batteries are all fully charged and that sort of thing. You would have a message pop up here saying that, hey, if it needs to be charged, you click on it and it would charge the battery. And then you got all your avionics letting you know the avionics are all okay. And then everything else is right there, everything is okay there. So there's nothing really to report on that. And that's basically your maintenance report for the airplane. So we'll go ahead and get on inside the airplane right now, and we're going to go ahead and do the walk around. So then that way we can go over here, and as you can tell, this is going to be a kind of a review of this reality expansion pack for the Baron 58. And so you got your information right here. I don't know what it's displaying down here other than the switches. If you want to test all the lights, you can go ahead and turn on the battery, and I can go ahead and do something that's kind of outside, and that is go ahead and turn on the GPU, even though it's not displayed, but I got the GPU going on right here. So that way we can go ahead and test all the lights and make sure all the lights are working as intended. So I have all the lights on using the SciTech equipment, and now we can go to test lights, and I can toggle the lights right there. And you can see that the lights are blinking. And it's just showing you all the lights that are on. Now, unfortunately, this screen right here doesn't show it for some reason. I think I'm in a wrong angle, but there's showing you the lights right there. You see it's trying to flash. The light is on right there. And then we'll go ahead and turn everything back off. Everything is back off. Pre-flight, you can go around and check and make sure, get rid of all of our ties and make sure we have free flow of everything, which is kind of cool. I like that. I don't know why my camera is moving because but whatever. That's kind of weird. Then we can get rid of the tie down right there. Over here, yeah, everything is clear. Nothing really show right there. And this is the flaps, and then the aileron. And it checks the fuel, tells me how many liters are in the tank. Because I went to kilograms, I really want just kilograms. I want gallons really, but kilograms, it gives me liters instead. And we can go ahead and get rid of the tie down right there, and get rid of the chalk. You really could do a double whammy there. You could have one thing that could be the chalks and that at the same time, but you know it's minor stuff. And then check the oil. See, the oil is kind of that color right there, which is 100%, so I guess that's okay. And we can go ahead and get rid of the cover. And we'll get rid of the pitot tube cover. And then if the lights were on, you just check to make sure the light is working and check to see if it's clear. And the thing is okay there. Toggle that one. Nothing special there. Toggle that. Toggle that. And make sure your fuel is, there's no contamination in your fuel. And we do the aileron check. And that right there, and then there you go. So we've done our walk around. Everything is checked up right there. Everything is good to go. And So now what we're going to do is we are going to speed up this video a little bit here, well, in the context of I'm going to try to speed this up right here to get us in the air a little faster. So what we got going on here next would be actually doing the checklist and whatnot. And the checklist, normal operation, lights and taxi lights on as required. Flaps are up, and they are up. Setting trim flats to 0. Everything is set to 0. So I just move that one right there. Set the parking brake. Parking brake is set. Yeah, I think it is set. Yeah, it's set right there. Propellers to high RPM, so that's all the way up. And this would be to 1000. Of course, this is if I was starting the engine. That'd be right there, but we'll leave it off right now. The idle is set at cutoff right now. And then the magnetos are off. Everything is off there. The battery alternator switch is off, which is because I have the GPU going on. That's why we have this. So let's go ahead and kill the GPU. Now the GPU is gone. And we'll move on to the next page. Oh, that was the landing. I was at the wrong spot. I was before starting. That was before landing, wasn't it? Yeah, that was after landing and all that other stuff. Okay. Didn't even really notice that. My bad. Anyway, so everything is set and ready to go. I'm just going to say, you know what? Okay, fine. We're good. We're good. Thank you very much. I'll go over here like this. Make sure everything is up. We got everything going. We'll go ahead and turn on the lights. Go ahead and get the lights on right here. We're supposed to throw a pump in. Let our stuff build up here. So it gets up and then off. And back the throttles back down and then up to 10% or so. And start each individual one. Get this damn engine started here. We'll see if we can get this engine started here. There we go. Engine is started. Both engines on, both alternators are running. We're good to go there. We'll go ahead and hit on the avionics switch. Now we got lights, or got avionics. Floods, panels on. Taxi light, we're going to be leaving in just a second. And we can do the stall warning in the windshield heat. And prop heat. Don't really have to, but once we get up there, it's just one less thing I have to worry about. Now, this is the problem with the G1000 with, well, first off, I better put the brake on. We're moving. This is the problem with the G1000 that I've had communications with the developer for SimCoders. Let me back off the temperature here real quick. Or RPM, sorry. You're supposed to be between 1,000 and 900, approximately. So 950, 980, whatever. And get it right there. There we go. Now we're in center. And you can see how it's kind of bouncing around between one's more stronger than the other or whatever. So anyway, back to the main preface of this right here. The Reality Expansion Pack redoes the engine profile, the engine flight model or model. And because it redoes the engine model on its own, for some reason the G1000 just roars this thing out of control. And so I reached out to the developer, and I happened to get to talk to Nick, and Nick basically said about the oil temperature, the matter is a little complicated. Basically, the analog cockpit version, which is basically the stock X-Plane version, and when you put the Reality Expansion Pack installed with the analog one, is what I'm trying to say here. The analog pack has proper oil temperature, and is the one is calculated by Reality for Reality Expansion Pack. The G1000 version instead can only report the default internal oil temperature of X-plane, which is totally useless in this case. This is a known issue even though Reality Expansion Pack totally overwrites the default engine values. I just put that in there, paraphrasing. The engine does not allow it to the X-plane does not allow it to overwrite the data rifts such as oil temperature and oil pressure. This means that the analog version, we can cheat the indicator and making it show the right value with to expand on that with the Reality for XP. So Reality XP can go into the analog, but the G1000, there is no way to trick the value to the user, so the instrument reports the default oil temperature even though it has no operational value. So bottom line is that it looks at one value, whereas Reality XP and does another value, and because of that, that's why we have this crazy it just races out of control oil temperature. Now I will say, however, that when you install, which out of the four installs of the Baron 58, the other version I have, which has all the modifications that I showed you in my previous video, you will notice that the oil temperature remains right where it needs to be, which is in the green zone. And that's because Reality XP is not installed on that configuration. It is acting on it's exceeding its values from the default X-plane, and so then the X-plane 1000 is working just fine. It's just the way it is. To make a long story short, the temperature is the way it is. It's a problem that is aware. It's a situation where the developer, or Nico, the developer for the Reality Expansion Pack, needs to get together with the G1000 developer, which is MiniWebs, and his team, or Laminar. They all need to get together in a room, or on a conference call or whatever, and say, okay, this is what we're doing. How can we go about as a team to fix this? That's what really needs to happen. If they did that, which unfortunately I don't think that'll ever happen, because Laminar, they've got bigger fish to fry. They're not going to worry about something like this because that's what Dion and other users want. So that's just the way it is. So we just have to suck it up and just take it for what it is. So that's where we're at. Is that a deal breaker of not buying Reality XP? I'm going to say hell no. Not at all. I mean, it's an annoyance, but it is what it is. So I would not stop your purchase of buying Reality for XP just because of this. That would be dumb, because of the benefits that you get for Reality for XP. If you paying for those benefits that you want outweighs just this one little thing that's annoying as hell. And also you do notice that there is an issue with the amp load, where it says 39 amps, and you see this other one down here, it's not doing anything. I think this is the charging value, and this right here is the consumption value. And you can see it's in the red, it's not in the green. It's because for some reason this has given me, as the user, the impression that Laminar's G1000 is not displaying that, hey, we are charging, so this value should go down in the green and this should be going up in the green, that it's that the alternators are working. Right now it's showing that the alternators are not working, even though they really are. They really are working. The battery is not going dead. It's just that it's just not, the values for the G1000 are just not working. So I've seen this in other G1000 implementations. It's just the way it is. So anyway, so that's really the big elephant in the room about this modification working with Reality Expansion Pack. That's the only problem. Everything else works just fine. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and throw on the lights, and we're going to go ahead and go take a flight. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a free flight, and we're going to make sure everything is looking sexy here, and we're going to go ahead and leave here. And where we're at, by the way, is we are in Tehachapi, California. I'll go ahead and give a little bit more power to the right engine here to get me turned around and get a show on a road here. Now, right now, the weather, let's go ahead and, I did not bring up the ATIS here, so let me get the ATIS information for, or the AWAS information for, which in order for me to do that, I need to cheat here, and I need to go over here where we're at. We are currently, I gotta find it real quick. There's Tehachapi. Our AWAS is 120.025, so I'm gonna put in 120. Now I could use all this, but I'm cheating to save time. I'm putting in my, using my SciTech equipment, which is what I paid for. And when it is, again, 120.025. Right there.
Tehachapi Muni weather. Wind 060 at 19. Visibility 8.
Okay, we are at
Sky clear.
3013.
Dew point -12. Altimeter 3013.
3013. Alright. So, because of that, we are going to go, we're going to take off at runway 111, or runway 11, excuse me. And that's what we'll do. So we'll just wind our way around, and we'll go over here to runway 11. Which is fine, because when I've flown into Tehachapi countless times in the sim, and I'm always landing at runway 22 or whatever that is, all the time. It was 22, wasn't it? I wasn't paying attention. That tells you how many times I always land at the runway from the western, no, from the west to the, or from the east to the west. And this is the default X-plane 11.30 beta 2, and that's what we are using right now. Okay, runway 29. There you go. So we'll go on over here, and then we'll take off. And I really do love the sounds with this airplane. I don't know if these are stock X-plane sounds, or these are reality expansion pack sounds, or these are sounds from the nacelle, Big Ron the Man's modification, or the G1000 modification. I don't know, of the three, I don't know which one these sounds come from, but they are awesome, and I don't really care because they are awesome. You slow down here, I'm getting crazy. And we'll say we have clearance, so we're going to go ahead and get up here. And we'll go ahead and turn on our landing lights, strobes on, and we'll go ahead and set our... Now I'm going to go right around 6 or so, which is about 2.5-ish or so for takeoff. Right, basically right at the very bottom of the green zone is where I found it seems to work the best. If you go 3, it really likes to, bang that nose up too quick when you're takeoff. So I'll back it up to right around 6 or so. And then we'll just do a rolling. So I'm not going to do a run up. We're just going to go. I'll throw the fuel pumps on. Everything is full. Everything is loud, making noise. Let's go ahead and see if we can control this airplane. I've got a lot of right deflection in here. Trying to keep the airplane semi-straight. Gear positive climb, gear up. We are off to the races. You can see how it's trying to weather vane to the direction of the wind. We're not going to go that way, so no. Sorry about that, had to cough there. So we are climbing. I mean right to KWJF. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our, because of my side tech equipment here, I'm going to turn on the autopilot, and I'll get my indicated airspeed at 115 knots. Let it settle out. Your indicated airspeed of about 100 knots or so. We'll get the temperature going there. I'll force the nose down and get a little bit more speed, airspeed. So it'll stop waving like it's doing. It's saying, hey, you're approaching the stall. There we go. The autopilot's a little slow. It doesn't pick up very well. Yaw dampener and I did yaw dampener and prop sync. So like I said, you know, it's really nice being able to look at your orthos and everything. Looks really, really cool. Well, there's something to look at, of course. You see, we're already at our my predicted height, which is 6,500 feet. Gonna back off on everything. Okay, so now we are set. We are slowly trying to get level here. And what I got going on here is there's multiple things. I've got some information up here that tells me what my temperatures are, and that's by actually going into the settings menu and turning on engine monitor. And why that's important is to be able to keep track of what the temperatures are, because of the fact that even though, you know, so you can see this is working just fine. We're in the green, so we're in good shape. And doing some cleanup here. But like I said, you could, with all these different things that you could do, you can do various things like the tow and stuff that I'm not going to do right now, obviously, because you can auto start the engines. Basically what you see right here is what these are right here. You can disable the pack, activate it, whatever. wear out. You can start out where it's brand new, or has some age to it. If you want to do those different challenges, that kind of thing. So it's really, really cool. I mean, and at the end, you get your, based on how you use the airplane, is how you're going to, you can be a positive or a negative depending on, how you treat the airplane. So you get rid of that. Now, the reason why I don't have the tips going, the showing the tips, is because of the fact that the temperature, the oil temperature is having its drama right with this thing. It keeps on telling me, hey, you're going to burn the engine up. You need to open up the cowling flaps. And when you go out here, you can see that the cowling flaps are wide open here. And if I can close them. Here they're completely closed. Now they're 50% open. Closed completely, 50% open, and then open all the way. And I've been finding that I usually run the cowling flaps about the same position with my SciTech levers, at the same position as where I have my mixture set. So just kind of works out that way. Whether it's right or wrong, don't know. But we do have a 17 knot tailwind, so we are doing 170 knots, 175 knots indicated, or I'm sorry, ground speed, doing 147 indicated. I could play around with it a little more. But the levers are a little bit too sensitive. Because if I just barely touch my levers on my SciTech equipment, it really modifies the RPM big time. And I am running about 75% power or so, roughly, according to the SciTech equipment. I do have the landing lights left on for safety, even though really I'm the only one out here, so it doesn't really matter. But good practice, good practice. But again, the G1000 was the attraction for me in the first place to start this road of playing around with the Baron at all. If it wasn't for the G1000, I wouldn't have not wasted my time, but invested my time, I should say more correctly, into the stock X-plane Baron 58. I just would have flown my other airplanes and not even give it a moment's thought. But once I saw on the org, that the G1000 was available, then that's what got me interested. And because of this, because of what MiniWebs and his team has done, and the interior modifications as well is a big part of it. So Big Ron the man is the man of having these two mods is what catapulted me in making my decision in buying this. So SimCoders needs to send a big thank you, at least from my point of view, needs to send a big thank you to Ron the man and MiniWebs in with their mods, because that inspired me to buy this, or I wouldn't have. SimCoders never would have been under my radar at all. I wouldn't have cared. So I think that's what they need to do, is they need to send a big thank you, to those two developers, or to those two individuals, for their products. So as you can see right now, we are getting close. So we're going to go ahead and start to descend. We'll get in the traffic pattern here, which I don't know which way it is. I think it's the right traffic pattern, but I'm making all lefts, so there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the autopilot. And we'll just lazily go around here. You can see KWJF, Lancaster, California, my home base. Back off a little bit in the power, let ourselves fall a little bit more. Throw a little bit more drag. I am a high wing guy, but when you have opportunities like this, I mean, I have no problem with low wing aircraft. You don't get to see as much, but that's okay. You can always go out here and look like this, you know. Look, we're looking at Quartz Hill right now, or actually North Lancaster, actually. This Quartz Hill is actually over there. And now I'm going to, now that big jump was because I started moving the pitch trim. They didn't like me doing that. And because I'm going to land, I'm going to go throw out the get this thing slowed down. Plant 42 out there in the distance. That Skunk Works out there. And that's the 14 freeway right there, and where the wings covering it up, but that is the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds. So right around August or so, that's the fairgrounds are active. Actually, right there, take that back, right there where my mouse is. Sierra Highway and the Southern Pacific Railway. I believe it's Southern Pacific. Yeah, back before 1972, that's when they built the 14 freeway, which you see right along here. At that time, the only way to get to was to get to the 395 or get from the San Fernando Valley to go to Palmdale, Lancaster was Sierra Highway, which is right along in here, and which goes on up to Mojave, then on up to Bishop, California, and beyond. I wasn't around at that time in LA County at that time. I was in San Diego. So my childhood was in San Diego, not here. So we'll do our nice slow, generous descent here. Well, the reason why we're doing the landing and going through all this procedure is so then that way at the end we can see what SimCoders or see what Reality Expansion Pack has for us as far as our maintenance when we end. We'll see if I destroy the airplane or if everything is all good, which I don't plan on destroying this airplane. Thank you very much. But stuff happens. Flaps 1 is down. I am high, too high as always. So we're going to lose our height here, which spells trouble already. And I'm actually landing the wrong way. I should have checked for ATIS. Should be landing at runway 6. So we are going to go around here like this. We're going to follow Avenue F. Flaps back up. That's what that is right there, is Avenue F, I believe, because Avenue G is over there. And we'll go on around here, and then we'll land on runway 6, because I believe that's where we should be on.
General WMJ Fox Airfield Information Kilo. 1800 Zulu weather. Wind 050 at 13, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 15, dew point -7. Altimeter 3013. Arriving runway 06, departing runway 06. Advise on initial contact.
Alright, so we got Kilo, and we are currently going to go out here a little ways, and then I'll just make a turn. And then we'll set our landing up again. Landing gear is still down, just flaps are not deployed. Need to expedite my turn, because I'm going to be off if I don't. There's Avenue G right there, where the nose is. And there is the airport right there, so we're going to do a... Now, I don't know why the black happened right there. It didn't load a tile, that's what it did. So for some reason, X-Plane didn't load that tile, even though we just flew over it a second ago and it loaded it just fine. Go figure, you know. And now we'll go ahead and throw the flaps back in. Go ahead and reduce power. Too high again as always. And we'll just let the airplane fall. And because I've got to go all the way down there, I need to let the airplane float a little bit. But I do need to land it. And there we go. Not exactly on the numbers, but that's okay. I'm not going to sweat it. Minus 174. Go down here a little bit, because I want to go where my hangar is, which is over here. You see my logo way over there. Solus Wings is way over there. And that is Bug Eater 64. That's his hangar right there. America Do. Yeah, I don't know why X-Plane just missed those tiles there. Should have, but you see it's all black. Weird. And there we go. It successfully made it here in one piece. Yay! Alright, so what we got to do now is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to starve the engines of fuel, I guess. Well, first thing I'm going to do before I damage anything, I need to turn off my master avionics, because I have learned if I don't turn off my master avionics, that will be bad. And so I'm going to turn off the taxi light. We don't need that anymore. And the panel lights and the floodlights. We don't need that anymore. Booster switch. Booster fuel booster. I don't know why I forgot to turn those off. Oops. So those are off. And now we can go ahead and pull those back. And now I didn't get the message saying, "Hey, you forgot to turn off your your thing." And I noticed I didn't turn off my yaw dampener and prop sync either when I was going on final to land. Okay, well, like I say, that stuff like that I'm going to pick up over time. The more and more I do that, the more and more it gets ingrained in my mind, and then I won't make those mistakes. So everything is off, and we'll turn that off, and that off. Now this thing should start to chill out here. And then we can do the walk around thing. This would be post-flight. And as you can see, we got a probe temperature is going down. We'll go ahead and throw the probe back in. And do the tail for the back. And do the tie down for the front. Or the tie down for one wing. Chocks. Covers. I guess you would wait probably a little longer, like 30 minutes or something. Then you probably go out here and put all these things on. And that's it for that. And that takes care of that. So we are out of the airplane. Go back to this shot right here where we started this video. There's a shot right there. Now we can take a look at the maintenance report. And the maintenance report is we got 1.7 hours invested in this airframe. We've got 35 minutes on the left engine anyway. And then we go through here and we check everything out, make sure everything is okay. I don't see any failures anywhere or anything I need that needs to be attended to. Second engine, same. No issues there. 35 minute, 35. Is the other one 35? Yeah, it should be 35 minutes on each engine. Temperature's all good. Everything looks good here. Excuse me, I got a burp there. And because we landed and then we were on the battery, so then the battery says that we need to charge it. So when we get to that point, we'll charge it. Everything's okay. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. And there you go. So everything is set and ready. So this airplane is all set and ready to go, and everything is actually set and ready for another flight. Like I do just pull everything, but we'll do that another time on another video. I'll go ahead and close that up right there, lock the doors, and that's basically it. So we are pretty much concluded this. You can change, and like I said before, you can go to different versions. You can go to brand new, or you can go to privately owned, and basically it just changes what this does. This changes your maintenance report to different settings, is what that does. And that comes along with it. Now installing this is pretty straightforward. The instructions are provided when you buy it, download it, install it. You just cut and paste into the Baron 58 after you copy your you make a copy of the existing Baron 58 and then you put it in. You just read the instructions and it works just fine. It's not a big deal. It's real simple to install. You can also static the elements itself. You can actually come out over here. If you didn't want to go through that the walk around procedure, you can just click on that. All is instantly gone, or you can instantly tag them all. You can do it that way as well by going through the menu, which is really cool. And that's basically it. Now the toggle mode, let's say that we wanted to move this airplane before I let you guys go. Let's go ahead and get rid of all the elements. Let's go into tow mode. Okay, now we are in tow mode. And if I release the parking brake, now the parking brake is released. It's out of field of view here. We'll go ahead and back up here a little bit. And if I want to move this, you just use your, if I want to back it into the hangar, now I can just back it right on into the hangar. As you can see, it says use your pitch and roll axis to move the airplane around. Which I don't have any other airplanes that I have that does this. I can just back it all in right here into the hangar. Which now I should have shadows like crazy because now we're inside the hangar and you can see the sun is still bright. And then once it chills out, then I'll hit the parking brake. Okay, now it's chilled out. Hit the parking brake, and there you go. The parking brake, now we can't do the tow mode anymore, but now it's in the tow. It's in the now it's inside the hangar. Like I say again, they need to have the shadows come down on the hangar so that it's actually would be dark in here and you actually see the lights and stuff. That's okay. Let me go ahead and put all the. Don't really need to do the tie downs. You do need to do the chocks though, but it's all together. So I'll just go over here for funsies and put them all back in there just because. And there you go. So anyway, that is the Reality expansion pack for the Baron 58. Highly recommend it. I feel you can, if you want to fly low and slow and you want to experience the Baron 58 the way it is, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend the G1000. It's just the caveat of the fact of the oil pressure issue. If you're in the analog version, if you don't want to mess with the G1000, you just want to go with the analog, then the analog is just fine. It works just fine, which is what originally the SimCoders Reality Expansion Pack was for in the first place. Was for the analog gauges, which is completely fine. If you want to fly that, that's fine. I mean, I fly it from time to time, but really, I'm more of a glass cockpit guy, so that's why I jumped on the chance with this with the G1000. And the G1000 works just fine. You can navigate; it navigates just fine. No issues at all. The only complaint I have is somebody needs to go in and actually make the autopilot, or SimCoders needs to, because SimCoders, every time that if you do a modification, like let's say that I want to put in my own November 502 Delta Mike into the ACF file, you go in, modify the ACF file, put in your own tail number and do your own settings with Plane Maker. As soon as you do that, that's fine until you get an update with SimCoders doing the update with the Skunk Crafts automatic update utility that comes with the Baron 58 Reality Expansion Pack. It will rewrite whatever you did. So that's one disadvantage of having the auto update. And because if you forget and you go and you do the SimCoders update, then all of a sudden now that ACF file has been updated to the latest of SimCoders, but then your tail number and whatever modifications you do gets rewritten as well, which is most unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Everything is not perfect, you know. So you'd have to have that in your mind and then go in after SimCoders does their updates and then go back and reapply whatever fixes you did, and then you'd be flying it until they do an update again, and then and you're going back and forth, and that's just the nature of the beast. That's just the way it is. There's no workaround other than just turning off what you can do, and that's just simply taking the which I don't recommend, by the way, because you want to keep the thing updated, because maybe eventually they'll figure out how to fix the G1000 oil temperature issue, and so you're going to want to be able to get that update, um, along with other things. But that's that's the banter that's going to be going back and forth between you, whatever you modify, and whatever Reality Expansion Pack does. So that's just his downside. But overall, that's small potatoes. That should not stop you from buying the Reality Expansion Pack if that's what you want. If you want to fly this airplane, then I highly recommend it. So, anyway, guys, that's my enough shilling for SimCoders. So you can call me a SimCoder shill now. Like, this dude's a shill for SimCoders. But no, that's just I like it. I bought it. I paid for it with my own money. I think it's good. I recommend it, and go for it. If you don't want that sort of thing, then don't buy it. It's simple as that. Nobody cares. If you get right down to it, nobody cares. you know. So anyway, you guys take care. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and donate. I do have the tip jars up on my YouTube channel on the top of my YouTube channel with some icons there, and got two methods of throwing some bones my way. I highly appreciate it. I've never had anybody donate anything yet, so hopefully one day that you will be the first person. You never know. And it says if you do, I will. I'll give you a big shout out if you do. So, and anybody else too, for that matter. So anyway, you guys take care and you have yourselves a great one. This is Dion Soul. This is my review of the Reality Expansion Pack for the default X-Plane with the modifications. You guys take care, and we'll catch you on the next X-Plane Adventures. Later, guys. Bye.